These are the charts on Nvidia, and I have seen several headlines in recent days. You had Jeff Bezos selling shares in Amazon. You had Mark Zuckerberg start selling shares in Meta, and we also now have Nvidia insiders selling shares. So this is concerning because potentially we are at the tops, right? If we're going to go into recession next year, potentially the market's going to have a leg down. However, tech and crypto lead the markets. We are at the bottom of the business economic cycle, which is why we've seen an upswing this year in the tech and cryptos. The assets that price in current data, oil's down, the dollar's down. So I'm not sure what to expect, which is why I rely on the charts so much. So before we look at the analysis, let's look at this article. So while corporate insiders are increasingly betting on shares of their firms, bosses at the S&P 500's best performing company are cashing in. You got Nvidia Corp executives and directors last month sold or filed paperwork showing they intend to sell roughly 370,000 shares worth about 180 million. According to data compiled by the Washington Service, if all the shares were sold, it would be the biggest monthly disposal by dollar value in at least 6 years. After more than tripling in 2023, Nvidia shares have turned sluggish. The stock has fallen more than 6% since November 21st, when the company gave a forecast for revenue in the current quarter that exceeded the average analyst estimates by about $2 billion, fueled by no other than AI. Nvidia insiders haven't made any stock purchases since 2020, according to Washington Service data. A representative for the Nvidia said that the majority of these sales are based on a 10b5-1 plan in which the price, amount, and dates of the sale are set in advance. Now, among the 4 insiders who disclosed sales or intend to sell in November was Mark Stevens, the director since '08. The former managing partner at venture capital firm Sequoia Capital filed a Form 144 November 24th indicating the planned sale of 300,000 shares. Stevens has sold hundreds of thousands of shares over the past few years and still has a stake in Nvidia worth about $2 billion. Wow, nice bag. Other sellers include Deborah Shoquist, Executive VP of Operations, and Dawn Hudson, who joined Nvidia's board in July. So I don't see CEO selling shares, so that's a good sign. And relative to Stevens' bag, 180 million is not much. 300 shares rather is not much. So again, this is why I rely on the charts. Now, if we go to the monthly chart, we can see how price has been range bound after a huge swing higher. And in that process, it did form weekly buyers at the $380 level. Almost got to that level back in late October. And since then, it's been smooth sailing to the top of this range. Now, that zone was formed back in June. You had a leg in, 2 basic candles, and a leg out. Price nearly comes back and then pushes higher. Now, price is now within this range-bound price action, again, establishing back in June. In my opinion, biased opinion, you buy on any weakness. You would love to see this a collapse, right? A leg down in the market next year, potentially. Where you load up the dump truck at this weekly bias level at 380. However, if you see a next leg higher in the markets going into 2024, you got to buy on pullbacks. Now scrolling down to the daily chart, you have resistance, right? Serve as resistance again, and these are all-time highs. Again, resistance as well. So these are 2 levels that I'm watching. You could say that you had daily buyers down at this level here, right? You had a rally in price, 2 basic candles to rally out, but because price did close above this most recent high, so this is why we're getting a reaction off this level here, right? Because this basing candle, and the next leg higher exceeded the most recent highs back in August. So, um, however, with the Nasdaq kind of turning down or consolidating the last couple of weeks, anywhere in here, you're just um, chopping, waiting for price to chop up. So, again, buy on weakness despite the inside selling. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Please like the video.